Friends, I want to convince you that you should buy cheap land in Nevada. The reason has to do with solar power. As you can see from this graph, the cost of solar power has declined dramatically in the last decade. It's now arguably the cheapest form of energy. Depends a little bit on how you do the math, but it's definitely very competitive. Furthermore, it's on track to continue the price reductions for the next 10 or 20 years. Now, there's some problems with solar. One obvious problem is that if it's cloudy, you can't get very much energy from your solar panels. Clouds are a little bit unpredictable. That's inconvenient. Obviously, at nighttime, you can't get energy out of your panels. It's also inefficient to transport. You can try to transport it using high voltage lines, but you lose a lot of energy when you do that. One way to think about this inconvenience is that you can't store solar power like you can store other fossil fuels. If you could store it, well, then you could ship it, you could pipe it around in pipelines, and you could save it for later. You could put it in a big barrel when you generate it during the day, and then in the evening, you could use it when the sun's not shining. How about this idea? Let's use solar power to generate natural gas. This is an idea that was innovated recently by a startup company called Terraform Industries. What they want to do, and what they've built a device to do, is take solar power from solar panels and use it to power a chemical reaction that extracts natural gas from the atmosphere. I don't want to go too much into this technical details, but here's the basic science. In the first step, you take water molecules and you break them apart into hydrogen and oxygen. This is called electrolysis of water. This is the energy intensive step. This is what you're using your solar power to perform. In the second step, you take a carbon dioxide molecule from the atmosphere and you combine it with the hydrogen from the previous step. And what you get out is some water and CH4, which is methane or natural gas. One thing that's very important to notice about this procedure is that this carbon dioxide comes from the atmosphere. So when you then burn the natural gas, it's carbon neutral. This, by the way, is called the Sabatier reaction. Now, natural gas is really convenient. We've got tons of infrastructure for natural gas already. We use it for cooking and heating. We have pipelines and depots to store it and move it around. We even have these things called liquefied natural gas tankers, where you liquefy the natural gas down and put it in a tanker, and then you can ship it across the ocean. This idea shows us a potential future of the energy landscape. In this future, we have a lot of huge solar array installations in the desert. Those arrays are paired with the Terraform extractor device. The extractor generates natural gas, and then you use the existing infrastructure, pipelines, tankers, all of that, to distribute it to the cities where people want to use it. Now, if that vision is true, there's a lot of land in places like Nevada that is currently very cheap, but won't be cheap in the future. In the future, it'll become valuable. As this image shows, a lot of places in Nevada have no plants, no animals, no structures, nothing going on. It's just empty, empty, empty as far as the eye can see, but it's got an immense amount of sunlight blazing down from the sky. Now, friends, if I convince you to buy cheap land in Nevada based on this pitch, and it doesn't work out, you've still got a backup plan, which is you can build a really cool ranch and go hang out where nobody else is going to bother you. Thanks for listening.